My name is Kim Bolden, and I own Fabulous Fitness here in Westerville, Ohio. And today I'm going to talk about being strong at any age, fitness and function in midlife. So today we're going to talk, it's a workshop for women who are ready to build strength, resilience, and confidence through perimenopause, menopause, and beyond. So let me get to the next screen. So, a little bit more about me. So, I'm Kim Bolden, and I'm going to talk about why this matters to me. So, my journey involves navigating midlife shifts in energy balance and body composition firsthand and realizing how much guidance was missing. So, when I was growing up, I was a gymnast. I loved gymnastics. As a young adult, I didn't really do a whole lot of exercise. I was working and had my first child at 23. After my second child, when I was 30, 29 or 30, I started running and I loved running. And I learned firsthand that just because I loved running doesn't mean that that was the only thing I could do because my body started to, I had some issues like with IT band syndrome. And I quickly learned that I needed to have muscle in order to support my body in the things I wanted to do. So I learned about strength training and I started to do strength training. And then I kind of graduated to getting my personal training certification because I was so passionate about strength training. Well, fast forward to 2024 when I was diagnosed with osteoporosis. So, osteoporosis is bone loss. So, I've lost bone density. And you have normal bone density, you have osteopenia, and you have osteoporosis. So, I had crossed over into osteoporosis. So, it was a big wake up call to me. I had a lot of risk factors that put me at a little higher risk. I had family history. I have celiac disease. I've had history with an eating disorder. And I went into menopause on the earlier side. So when the drop in estrogen happens, we start to lose um, bone density. And yeah, there was just like the perfect storm. So I really started getting serious then. While I had been doing strength training, it clearly wasn't enough. So I kind of did a little shift, added some heavier strength training in, really started doing focus to make sure that I was doing the exercises that were going to keep me safe, but also benefit me and adding bone, in addition to starting hormone replacement therapy. And estrogen was critical in helping me rebuild some of my bone mass. So, um, what we really specialize here and why it's so important to me is we kind of bridge that gap. Fitness spaces rarely have open, honest conversations about perimenopause and menopause, and that really needs to change. So we're trying to change that. My mission is to empower women with the knowledge and practical tools to build strength and well-being through every stage of midlife. Nice, I'm not moving. So the first thing is understanding your body's changes in menopause. So declining estrogen and progesterone don't just affect mood, they reshape how your entire body functions. So strategies that worked in your 30s may need a thoughtful update. They may not work the same for you. For example, energy and recovery. So fatigue may set in faster, rest becomes non-negotiable. Your body composition, redistributes, especially around the abdomen, muscle mass declines. Bone and joint health. We already talked a little bit about this. So, density and flexibility both require active attention. So, as you can see from my own story, I was doing the things, but I wasn't doing them concentrated enough for the purpose I needed to be doing them. So, I really needed to focus more on heavier lifting, making sure I was getting enough protein, having the estrogen on board. And with that combination, I've been able to gain 3 to 4% of my bone density back in 1 year, moving me from osteoporosis to osteopenia. So, and that journey continues. I hope to be completely reversed into normal bone density. I'm working really hard, so we'll see what happens with that. And then the next thing, of course, is pelvic floor. Hormonal changes can affect um, strength and function here too. So we're going to talk a little bit about some myths because a lot of times when we mention lifting weights or lifting heavy weights, women get scared about a certain thing. So we want to kind of address those myths today so we can hopefully answer any questions and um, help you understand that some of these are just myths that just get passed around. So the first one is I don't want to get bulky. So the truth about testosterone, women have dramatically less testosterone than men, and significant muscle bulk simply doesn't happen naturally. So what you'll build is lean, functional strength. It's really difficult to put on Those big bulky muscles you see, like the Arnold Schwarzenegger guys, that just doesn't happen without a lot of focused effort. So what you will actually gain is a boost in metabolism because muscle's going to burn more calories at rest. You get better body composition and confidence that comes from feeling genuinely strong in daily life. So to the right here, this picture is of our Strong Not Scared workshop we did a couple weeks ago. It was a really, really good turnout, and everybody just learned so much, and it was so much fun to get some of these women lifting heavier than they've ever lifted before. The second myth is lifting heavy weights or lifting weights in general will hurt my back. So this is an understandable fear, but the opposite is true when the training is done right. So proper form is everything. Controlled progressive movements build the muscles that stabilize and protect your spine, not strain it. Listening to your body is really important. So starting light, moving intentionally, and progressing gradually. Pain is a signal, discomfort from effort is not. And then the payoff is reduced injury risk, improved posture, and a back that a back that supports you through everything life demands. And we've seen this over and over again in the studio here with our clients. It's making sure that we are meeting each person where they are, listening to your body, and then progressing from there. Just because you can pick up a heavier weight and you can lift it doesn't mean that you should lift it. And that's something that I say often, including to myself, because I've struggled with back issues myself, not caused from lifting weights, but I've struggled with it. So I understand it. And I understand how important it is to have that core strength and stability in order to be able to lift properly. All right, next. The next myth is I'm too old to start. So I hear this a lot as well, but science says otherwise. Research consistently shows meaningful strength gains are achievable at any age, including your 50s, 60s, and beyond. Programs are built for you. So here at our studio, we build structured programs like menopause-focused strength training using progressive overload design specifically for this stage of life. So that's with our personal training clients. Our semi-private, which is a max of 6 women per session, allows the cost to be lower than a personal training session, but you still get really personalized, individualized attention. And our programming is similar for that, although not quite the same as progressive overload. The real benefit here is maintaining independence, improving quality of life, and showing up fully for the people and the things that you love in your life. And this on the left side here is Kennette. She's been a member for I want to say 4 or 5 years now. And she has just made so much progress. She came here hoping to avoid having, she had a shoulder surgery on one side. She was hoping to avoid the other side, and she was able to avoid that by strengthening. And it's been amazing just to watch her progress. Her knees are feeling better. And she just enjoys the community. All right, so the unrivaled power, benefits of midlife strength training. So beyond debunking myths, discover the profound and tangible impacts that smart strength training can have on your physical, mental, and overall well-being as you navigate midlife. So the first thing and the most important thing is stronger bones and boosted metabolism. So you can combat age-related bone loss, improve bone mineral density, and keep your metabolism active, which makes weight management and body composition easier. I always say, like, if you can do one thing, do strength training. I mean, I love cardio. Don't get me wrong. I love running. However, that is not going to do much for my bones or for my muscle, right? We need to build that muscle. And in order to do cardio, we have to have muscle so that it supports our body doing the cardio that we want to do. So if you only have time for one thing, make sure you get that strength training done. It's going to pay off in spades later on. The other thing that strength training can do is enhance mental well-being. So it helps reduce stress, improve mood, and sharpen cognitive function. Strength training is a powerful tool against anxiety, and it can promote better sleep. I can definitely tell a difference when I don't do my exercise, when I don't do my strength training. It makes a huge difference. And I didn't think that it did until like you go like a week or like you've been sick or something happens and you can't get your sessions in. And then all of a sudden you're like, why am I sleeping horribly? Because I'm not exercising right. Next is unshakable confidence. Feel empowered in your body, build physical and mental resilience against life's challenges, and embrace new physical feats with strong sense of self-efficacy. We see this over and over again too at the studio. We have clients that'll do our 6-week program, which is our intro program into our semi-private training, where after 6 weeks, These women are more confident, they have more energy, they can do more with their kids, they can get back on the ground. We had one client who travels a lot with work, and she was really struggling to get across the airport in Chicago. I think she was at O'Hare and Midway. And after 6 weeks, she was able to walk all the way across the airport without stopping where she had previously been sitting down like 4 or 5 times to get across the airport because she was so out of breath. So just adding strength training and some mobility over 6 weeks made that big of a difference for her. So lasting functional independence is another point I want to drive home. So maintaining strength for daily activities, reduce fall risk, and ensure you can enjoy an active, vibrant life, fully participating in the things you love well into your later years. Think about what you want to do in 10, 20 years. If you can't do those things now, you have to start doing something about it so that you can do those things, because it's only going to go downhill from here if you're not doing anything about it. So bone health, building a strong foundation for life. So bone density begins declining after age 30, and that decline accelerates significantly during perimenopause and menopause. But the good news is you have more influence over this than you think. Weight bearing and resistance exercises directly stimulate bone forming cells. Every squat, lunge, and deadlift is an investment in your skeletal future. So don't wait for that diagnosis to start protecting your bones. Consistency now creates that foundation for lifelong mobility and independence. So you want to challenge those bones with weight-bearing exercises, squats, lunges, nourish them with calcium, vitamin D in your protein intake, and then consistency. This is where the magic is. And this is often where it gets really difficult, because when the honeymoon period wears off of this new program you started doing, it gets really tough to stick with it. But if you can stick with this, and it doesn't have to be, an hour-long workout, 6 days a week in order to make a difference. 2 45-minute workouts a week, 2 30-minute workouts a week, what fits into your schedule? Regular training prevents bone loss. That's what you need to figure out for you. All right, so weight loss and metabolism, strength training's secret weapon. So per decade, you're losing 3 to 8% of your muscle, which begins in your 30s. So without resistance training, this decline begins in your 30s and accelerates with menopause. This is without strength training. So you'll also have better insulin sensitivity. Strength training helps your muscles use glucose more efficiently, supporting steadier blood sugar and easier fat loss. And strength training combined with a balanced diet is twice as effective for sustainable fat loss than cardio alone. And over here to the right, we have Sarah doing a back squat. She is a client turned trainer. It's been awesome to watch her journey and her transformation. So functional fitness demo. So move with confidence. So I'm going to show you some of these exercises. It just dawned on me that my little picture screen is kind of smaller, so I will definitely talk through them. I can show you them as well. So there's 4 foundational movements that mirror real life. So master these and daily tasks will become easier, safer, and more powerful. So we're going to review the form setup of these exercises. So the squat is the first one over here on the left. Tammy in the green shirt is demonstrating. So this is going to mimic sitting and standing. So you can see I'm in my chair here. Okay. I'm going to stand and I'm going to sit. So that's basically a squat. So if we did this and I wasn't sitting down, this is what it would look like. Okay. So it builds leg and glute strength, essential for everyday movement. You sit on a chair, couch, sofa, bed, stand up, toilet. Okay. Everybody goes to the bathroom, right? So if you got to sit on the toilet, you got to be able to squat. So this is something too that I get a little frustrated with. I have clients that come in and say they have been told not to squat by doctor, ortho. So I always ask more questions. I want to know why, what's going on. And then also, are you not supposed to sit in a chair or sit on the toilet? So I think asking questions and learning, like, if you've got a knee problem, obviously they don't want you to load up a back squat like we just saw Sarah doing. That's probably not a good idea. But if you've got to sit and stand in a chair, we have ways to work around that here where we can help you build the strength so that once your knee is better, we can help work on that, or really any trainer can that knows what they're doing. You just want to make sure that you're being safe during your exercises and ask those questions. If somebody tells you not to squat, if someone tells you not to lunge or deadlift, ask why. And then what is the benefit of not doing it versus the risk of doing it? because these movements that we're talking about right here are movements you're going to use in your everyday life. The lunge, moving out of the lunge. So this improves single leg balance and strength, which is critical for walking, climbing stairs, and stability. So think about when you climb your stairs and your lunge, your step, right? So that's very similar to that lunge, right? And everybody thinks when you do a lunge that your feet have to be, you have to be, and I know you can't see my feet, your feet have to be on this balance beam and you got to be in this line. That is not true. Okay. You can have feet hip distance apart and then you just kind of step back. All right. And now I'm going to turn sideways so you can see I'm not even stepping back that far. The key is my front knee is just kind of over that heel and then I'm pushing up through that front heel. Okay. So I don't have to be stepped all the way back here. It's not got to be crazy like that. Just a little bit of a step back. Okay. This is going to help build that strength. If the lunge doesn't work for you, another exercise we do here at the studio is stand on one leg, lift, hold, tap down, lift, hold, tap down. Okay, this just starts working on balance. It starts working on building the strength in the core, the quads, and your hip. Okay, moving on to the deadlift. The deadlift builds posterior chain power for safe lifting, bending, and protecting your lower back. This also comes in handy when you need to lift up a laundry basket, right? Bend over, pick it up. I know that I have hurt my back picking up a laundry basket before, so this form is really important. So if you notice, you see connect there in that picture. Before anything else happens with the deadlift, you send those hips back, okay? And then we squeeze our glutes to come up. So when we come up, we're not throwing those hips forward. We're hinging at the hips and we're coming up to neutral here. You can have a slight bend in your knee. That's okay. But the key is those hips are going back and then coming up. That's going to help protect your back. If you're adding weight to that by picking something up, you want to make sure that your core is braced before you pick that thing up. That way you're using your legs to lift and not the back. Okay, last but not least here, overhead press. So this enhances your shoulder mobility and upper body strength for reaching, carrying, and to help with your posture. So overhead press is like when you're putting dishes away, you're putting something up on a shelf. So that's why it's important to have this strength and mobility there. All right. So your path forward, consistency over intensity. And I already touched on this a little bit about consistency, showing up regularly. So a moderate workout that you do consistently will always outperform and the perfect workout that you skip. 2 to 3 sessions a week is a powerful start. So you always want to prioritize your form first. Master the movement before you add weight. So like I was showing you here, this deadlift. I don't have any weight with this deadlift. My hands are right here at my hips, right? We like to call this making a hand sandwich. So we're practicing that hinge before we add any weight. That's going to help keep you injury-free in the long haul, is making sure that you are ready to progress before you put weights in your hands. Another thing we love to focus on here is celebrating every win. Progress is progress, whether it's one more rep or simply showing up, acknowledge it, own it, and build on it. So the other day I had a conversation with a client who was down on herself. She felt like she hadn't been, lifting as heavy as she had been previously or showing up as much. And she had a lot going on in her life. So we had just a discussion. And sometimes what we came to the realization is that sometimes our 100% today may look different than what our 100% looked like 2 or 3 months ago. So we have to make sure that we're giving ourselves some grace and really working as hard as we can with what we're given on any certain day with the circumstances we have. So acknowledge it, own it, and then you build on that. You have the power to build the strength, resilience, and vitality at any age. It starts with one decision and then another. And that decision to take action is going to create momentum and motivation instead of the other way around, where we often wait for motivation to strike. You have to take action first. And I don't care if it's just going outside for a 5-minute walk, that's better than nothing. Okay. We're going to do something versus nothing. So we get rid of that all or nothing mentality and it starts to create this mindset shift. So empower your strength. Your journey starts now. So you're equipped with the knowledge to redefine strength in midlife, taking the first step towards a stronger, more confident you because your vitality is waiting. So we have options at Fabulous Fitness for in-person training, virtual training, meaning via Zoom and it's live with a trainer, and online training options. The online training options are an app where we provide workouts personalized to you with little demo videos and then also accountability. It's a whole program, a coaching program. So those are beginner-friendly workout plans designed for women in midlife. You don't have to have any experience to do any of those. So if you're local to Westerville, or the Columbus area, you're absolutely welcome to come in. If you're not, we have clients that train on Zoom, um, that live in Atlanta, live in California, live in Southern Ohio. Um, and I also have clients that just do online training that live locally, but that also live across the country. The key is getting started and not letting the I don't know what to do stop you from getting started. Something is going to be better than nothing. If you don't know what you're doing and you're scared to start because you're scared you're going to get hurt, send me a message. My email's on the next page. I'll help you. I'll help. If I can't help you, I will connect you with somebody that's local that can help you. I'll answer questions. I'm so passionate about removing this obstacle that keeps women from exercising because they don't know what to do or they're intimidated to go to a traditional facility. Bone and muscle health is so important as we get older, and I want everybody to understand that. Um, in our community, we have like-minded women. We share progress. We find support in a positive, empowering environment. I can't talk today. That's a big word together. If you are local, or even if you're not, and you want to schedule a consultation, we can give you personalized guidance and tailor a strength training plan specifically for your body and your goals. Again, you don't have to live here. We can do this via Zoom. We can figure out if online training is an option for you, if Zoom is an option for you. Or if you just have some questions that you really need to get answered before you figure out what that next step looks like for you, I'm happy to answer those questions. So you can take the next step by, you can visit our website, which I realize now that you can't click, so that button is kind of useless for you. But you can go to fabulousfitness.com. It is spelled a little differently than typical. It's FABYOULOUS fitness.com. You can also pause this video and scan the QR code. That's going to take you to a link to book a discovery call. And that just means we're going to have a conversation. There's no obligation, there's no cost. I love helping women figure out what works for them. So I'm happy to talk to you. You can also email me or you can call me, though that's just a voicemail number. So this was some discussion that we had when we did this as a live workshop. But these are questions that I want to ask you and maybe just ask you to start thinking about. And if you book that discovery call, I'd love to hear your answers. But which myth resonated the most with you? What's one barrier you've been faced with strength training? What does strong look like for you? And how do you currently prioritize your health? So start thinking about that. Think about where you are, where you've been, and where you want to go, and kind of sketch that out. And what does that look like for you? And then, let's put a plan into action so that you can start to improve your health so you can live life on your terms and not have it be dictated by, getting out of breath or not having the stamina or not having the strength or, just a myriad of things there. We can help you with this. There are things that you can do that within your power. And one of the biggest ones is strength training as you enter this perimenopause and menopause phase. Strength training is number one. Eating enough protein and fiber. Number two, hydration, sleep optimization. Everybody discounts sleep and poo-poo sleep, and I don't need to have sleep. And absolutely, you have to have sleep. And it's got to be good quality sleep because if you don't have that, none of the rest of this stuff is going to work well. It's going to be so much harder. Stress management. And then we want to look at non-exercise activity. So that means if you go out and you do your exercise, this happens to me sometimes on days that I run early. I'll run in the morning and then I come and I sit at my desk for several hours. I need to be getting up every hour, at least for a minute or two. So I'm walking around. So I'm not getting stiff. I'm keeping my mobility. And, I don't want to undo the work I just did in my exercise. So those are all things I want you to think about. Strength training first, and then you sprinkle in the rest of those so that you have a very well-rounded program for yourself so that you're touching on all of the things that can make a big impact on your health as you start to get older, and hopefully keep you feeling the best that you can feel. Again, It was amazing to be able to share this information with you today. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Again, it's Kim Bolden. I'm with Fabulous Fitness, and I wish you the best in health.